West Orange is visitors, right? West,
I sure hope so, because that's what I put them in as.
West Orange visitors, DP's home. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mustang Arena, home of the Wekiva Mustangs and the 2021 Metro West Girls Basketball Tournament. This is the third of 4 games today, and the winner places third in this year's tournament. The game features the West Orange Warriors, seeded fourth, taking on the Dr. Phillips Panthers, seeded second. And now, let's meet the starting lineups. First, please welcome the visitors from West Orange. Number 1, a senior guard, Skylar Thompson. At guard, a senior, number 12, AJ Gilliard. At center, number 23, senior, Allie Scheich. At forward, a sophomore, number 24, Jasmine Gibson. And at guard, a sophomore, number 32, Zoe Calvez. And now, please welcome on the scoreboard the home team, the Dr. Phillips Panthers. A 5'8" senior guard, number 1, Kalia Rainey. Number 5, a 5'6" guard, sophomore, number 5, Trinity Turner. A 5'8" junior forward, number 11, Jordan Ward. A 5'9" freshman guard, number 20, Annalise Rowland. And a 5'8" freshman forward, number 21, Soraya Johnson. The coaches for West Orange. What's his name, Melvin? Melvin, what's your name? You. Brian Rizzo. And for Dr. Phillips, Anthony Jones. Let's play some basketball. And for friends and family who cannot be here in attendance, the game is being live streamed around the world on the internet. Please tune in to YouTube and log on to the Wekiva Athletics channel.
Welcome to Mustang Arena. The voice you just heard was Mr. Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs and Sports Information Director here at Wekiva High School, and the two of us will be taking you through this third place game in our first ever girls basketball Metro West Conference Tournament.
West Orange comes in as the fourth seed, and they give up the first basket. Dr. Phillips taking that 2-0, West Orange. Yeah, Dr. Phillips taking the 2-0 lead, seeded second, and just as we expected, no holds barred as far as the transition. 2 possessions, 2 quick up the court transition opportunities. Hey, Mark, they're here to learn about how to do the statistics when you So at the line, that's Sky Thompson, the senior point guard. Buries that first free throw, cuts the lead to 2-1. This is the third place game for the Metro West Girls Basketball Tournament. Second shot, free throw, no good. Around that corner is Rainey, stripped, and we come back the other way. Off the Windex, score off the kissing the glass. And that cuts the lead to 3-2. The spin, the kick out to Turner. Turner drains the rain. And that puts Dr. Phillips back ahead 5-3. Into Gibson along the baseline, no dice. Snagged the loose ball, Rainey. Well, we're going up and down. No stopping here. Rims in and out. Doing the Windex work is Turner. And she sets it out to Rainey, who will settle the DP defense down. Turner calls out the play. Down low to Ward. Rims out of the rim. Long shot and short, out of bounds, West Orange. So take a breath. This has been an intense start to this game, up and down the court. No rest for either of these two teams. West Orange, the number 4 seed. Dr. Phillips, the number 2 seed. They won their first game. Both these teams lost the semifinals in the winner's bracket. This is Thompson, top of the key, the senior point guard, coming left, trying to find an alley, cut off, but picked up the loose ball. Gibson, kissing the board. Gibson. And we are tied 5-5. Both these teams are traditional state powerhouses as well. From downtown, Turner. That was actually Roland draining the tray. Handoff from Calvez to Gilliard, and she is rejected. Possession will remain with West Orange, though, trailing 8-5. 2.5 minutes into this third place game for the Metro West Girls Basketball Tournament. Into Gibson, rejected again. Ball stays in bound, though. Thompson picks it up. Ball slides over that rim. And ball will go back to Dr. Phillips. Possession, Dr. Phillips. So West Orange starting off in man-to-man, full court defense. Calvez on the right. Down low in the lane. Out to Turner. Slides off the rim again. Scramble underneath. Several hands getting touching that ball, but no one able to corral it. And possession, West Orange. Gibson takes the inbound pass. Gibson. Offensive foul, number 23, Allie Schick. Team's first. 3 minutes in. Oh, the bounce pass. And some great defense, though. Looked like a wide open shot for Dr. Phillips. Instead goes out of bounds. West Orange possession. Gilliard takes the lead pass. Hands off to Gibson down low. No connection, and we come back the other way. Anthony Jones style. That transition up and down the court opportunity. And Turner will settle the offense down. Let her team take a couple of breaths. This has been an extremely intense pace up and down. The one-handed shot, no dice. And Gilliard pulls down the rebound. We come the other way, 2.5 minutes in. Gibson makes the withdrawal. Scheidt makes the withdrawal. Come back the other way. And the offensive foul. So Turner will inbound it, 8-7 score, lead for Dr. Phillips. Rolls off the rim, doing Windex work, but no dice on the rebound. A third offensive rebound, and this time, floater scored by Turner, and the foul. Who was the foul on? 22 red? 32. Zoe Calvez called for the foul, her first, the team's third. So Turner at the line looking to complete the old school tray, unable. And we come back the other way. Gibson takes the pass over to Predelis, who came in recently, 10-7. Thompson calls out the play. Top of the key, guarded by Gavin, as both teams now are going to the bench. Predelis rattles off the heel, pulled down by Turner, and we come back the other way. 10-7 lead for Dr. Phillips. Inside pass to Burden, and a lot of contact, but no foul. Steal in off the boards for Rainey. 12-7. Dr. Phillips in the lead. This is Gilliard with a couple of spin moves, and she draws the foul in the lane. Who was the foul on? One. Personal foul, number 1. Sky Thompson, her first, the team's third. Oh, no, actually, it's Rainey. So that was actually on, the foul was on Kalia Rainey, my bad. And we come back the other way with Turner drawing the foul on the drive. So Neil Fisher with you today for the third place game. 13-7 lead by Dr. Phillips, the number 2 team. Somewhat of an upset. Apopka defeating them in the semifinals. Neither free throw good, and so the lead remains at 12-7 as Sky Thompson brings the ball up the court. Hands off pass to Gilliard, left wing extended. Couple dribbles out to Gilliard, who's now out working the right side. Rattles in and out. Windex work by Rowland. And so the pass back to Turner, who set the offense. 2.5 remaining in the first quarter. This is Rowland from the top of the key. Clanks off that heel. Skies, 3-player Skies. West Orange comes down with it and draws the foul. That was Gibson drawing the foul. Oh, held ball. See, it was a held ball. Held ball, West Orange possession. So Gibson takes the inbound pass. Back to Thompson as we approach 2 minutes in the first quarter. Thompson drives to the middle, kicks out to Predelis. High blocks on the right, out to Calvez. No dice. We'll come back the other way. Dr. Phillips strong rebounding. Who scored? Off the window from Turner. And so now Thompson trying to answer the DP basket. And an offensive charge. Personal foul, number 1, Thompson. 5th team foul. Entering the game for Dr. Phillips, Kalia Rainey. So Anthony Jones makes the switch, goes to Rainey at the point at the guard position. 15-7, Dr. Phillips in the lead. They have led throughout. We've been tied a couple of times. And just a quick note, Anthony Jones is the first cousin of Tommy Butts. Tommy Butts, of course, the coach here with Wekiva Mustangs. Between the two, they have won 15-9, 1:13 remaining. 30-second timeout taken by West Orange. We'll be back with a 15-9 lead being held by Dr. Phillips. You guys doing okay? Mustang Arena, the site. This is the 2021 Metro West Girls Basketball Tournament, and this is the third place game. Dr. Phillips took the early lead, and they have not trailed since. They now have a 15-9 lead with 1:13 remaining in possession of the ball. West Orange in their familiar traveling orange jerseys on defense. Couple quick passes down to the corner. That was rolling, no connection. And Dr. Phillips, possession remains with Dr. Phillips. So Dr. Phillips, a quick pass in, back out to Rowland. Bounces off the heel. Excuse me, that was Turner taking the shot. Over the top pass to Thompson, who kicks it back out to Prelis at the top. She's going to drive, short. Windex work being done by by West Orange. We come back the other way. Rowland, top of the key, extended left for Rainey. Turner drives the lane, makes the angle, makes the withdrawal for Turner. And that ups the lead to 17-9. 12 seconds remaining. One last opportunity for West Orange. And before the shot's taken, the foul. Foul on Kalea Rainey, the team's third. So exactly what we expected, Mark, with 10 seconds remaining. Dr. Phillips, the number 2 seed, up, taking the lead. They have not trailed, but this has been an up and down pace, even in half court. That ball has moved quickly. This is Thompson from the left wing, and no dice. And the first quarter comes to an end, 17-9. Dr. Phillips, once again, has not trailed, and they will take that lead into the second quarter. This is the 2021 Metro West Girls Basketball Tournament. I have a hard enough time just remembering who the players are, so. And welcome back to Mustang Arena, home of the Wekiva Mustangs, who are not actually playing right now. This is Dr. Phillips Panthers holding a 17-9 lead over the West Orange Warriors. This is the third-place game for the 2021 Metro West Girls Basketball Tournament. Wekiva will take on Apopka for the championship. That game will start at 7:30, about 30 minutes at the end of this game. An inter-city Apopka rivalry. In the meantime, we get back to work here at the start of the second quarter. Lifts off that rim. Will trade no dice, and Gilliard comes out leading the charge for West Orange. Calvez trying to go behind the back. A little too much razzle-dazzle, and she turns that ball over. Possession will remain with Dr. Phillips. And we have a stoppage. Is this in there? So Dr. Phillips scored the first 5 points, and they have led since then. We are currently in a timeout, only 20 seconds into the second quarter. There have been 2 ties. A tie at 5 and then 7. Dr. Phillips upset by Apopka in the semifinals, and West Orange falling to Wekiva in the semifinals. That's how both these teams wound up here. They won for both of their opening round games. The pass underneath comes out, back down to the corner, slashes in and then out. And some Windex work pulling out that bottle. LaKayla Barden, and she draws the foul. So 17-9, the score remains. And ball will be West Orange. Dr. Phillip disagrees vehemently with that. You can hear the whole bench going, ooh. So about 250 fans in attendance. Thank you for listening to our live stream. We're happy to bring you this live stream. Just beginning our 2021-22 coverage of the women's basketball season. Long outlet pass. Making the withdrawal. Travel. Oh. So Thompson takes the inbound. And that was a travel underneath the basket. On this end, though, we do get a foul. I'm sorry, it's out of bounds. So, possession, West Orange. Gilliard goes to the backcourt to pick up the loose ball. 7 minutes remaining. Gilliard calls out the play. Thompson with the ball at the top of the key. West Orange looking to cut into that 17-19 lead. Hands off to Calvez. Pass out to Gilliard. Rattles in and out. Gibson doing the Windex work. Inside pass to Predelis. She can't get the conversion. And on the other end, too long for Govan. So Dr. Phillips scored the first 5 points of this game. West Orange then tied at 5 and 7. 5 consecutive points by Dr. Phillips gave them the lead, and they have led since then. As Rowland intercepts the pass. And we come down the other way in another pass which goes out of bounds. I'm Neil Fisher along with Mark Barchi.
And I am glad to join you now for the broadcast. I spent the whole first quarter trying to fix the possession arrow.
Yes, thank you for joining us. As This has been a long day. We still have one more game after this. We have had some technical issues, and that is something of a norm when you do broadcast several games, a total of 4 today.
And, of course, if you think this is a
Long
marathon,
day.
wait until you get to Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Neil and I will be part of the broadcast crew for the Metro versus Florida Challenge. We're partnering with Varsity Sports Network so that we can get all 24 of those games covered without going completely insane ourselves. And we're looking forward to that. That'll be an event to open up the boys basketball season. A couple of those teams have already played a game this week, but for most of those teams, that'll be their first game of the regular season as the Orlando Metro Conference puts its reputation on the line against some of the best talent in the greater Central Florida area. Again, that's coming up from Apopka High School on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those games will not be on this YouTube channel, though. They will be on the Metro versus Florida YouTube channel, as well as Varsity Sports Network. Here's a stolen bucket for the Panthers.
And that ups the lead to 21-9, just under 6 minutes.
Again, as you mentioned earlier, Neil, it was quite an upset. Dr. Phillips was a favorite to be in the championship game with Wekiva as we get the tray there. And it was quite a surprise when Apopka bumped them out of the championship bracket. So we'll be very interested to see what Apopka brings to the table coming up at 6:30 as they take on the host school, the Mustangs, the defending state runner-up.
Yeah, and I think what's really the big upset about that, of course, Brittany Hardy, the Apopka coach, and by the way, she's the daughter of Charles Hardy, who's an assistant coach with Wekiva men's basketball. Meanwhile, Gibson makes the withdrawal.
Beautiful transition play there for the Warriors, trying to keep this within shouting distance.
Yeah, on the other end, Rowland clanks that ball off the rim. Thompson with the rebound. But the seedings in this tournament is based on last year's record and performance, as West Orange unable to connect. And, you know, Apopka's a team under Coach Hardy. She's been the coach for 7 years now. 5 of the 7 years they have contended at the very least for a state playoff berth. They have had a couple teams that have advanced to the regional final. So I wouldn't say that's necessarily an upset in terms of Apopka coming out of nowhere. But according to the seedings, which again are also according to last year's record, I think that is somewhat of where the surprise is.
Yeah, and it is one of the interesting things about doing a conference championship. Normally you think of a conference champion as something that's decided at the end of the season, not at the beginning. But this is an interesting side effect of the FHSAA moving to this Max Preps RPI-like system that drives the postseason. In a lot of cases, because let's be realistic here, Orange County girls basketball, has some haves and have-nots. You have some really new schools that are just starting to build their programs. You have powerhouses like Wekiva. You have everything in between. And so a lot of these schools are a little bit reluctant. Like if you're Wekiva, you think twice about scheduling a school like Horizon or Lake Buena Vista.
Yeah, they're the first year
Because
school.
even if you win, it damages your score. It damages your ratings because you're playing against somebody who doesn't have strength of schedule. And so as a result of that, the teams really were, I talked to Coach Butts about this earlier, the teams were kind of reluctant to do the Metro standings and the Metro Championship the way that they had historically done it, as we get a basket there by the Panthers, and we also get a timeout called by Dr. Phillips. It'll be a full timeout. 21.
So Raya Johnson scoring the basket. Timeout, Dr. Phillips.
So as we are at break here, Neil, I'll finish the thought that I had. A lot of the Metro teams were reluctant to do the usual way that you would declare a Metro Conference champion, which is you have to play, I think you have to play every team in Metro West at least once, and then you go with the best Metro record. If there are any ties, you go head-to-head, and that's the way you would normally do the Metro Conference champion. But that means that Wekiva would have to schedule games against every Metro team on the west side of Orange County, including the ones that would damage their rating even if they won that game. And that could hurt your postseason performance. And the Metro Conference is one of those kind of bragging rights things. It doesn't actually get you into the FHSAA postseason tournament. It doesn't do anything toward making you a state champion. It doesn't do anything toward your playoff position or your district tournament. It's just bragging rights. And you're not going to risk your postseason performance on something that's just for bragging rights. And so they said, well, what if we did it instead of having every team play every other Metro West team over the course of the regular season? What if we did it as a seeded bracket? And that protects the higher seeded teams from likely playing against the lower seeded teams. And that's precisely what they decided to do. And that's why the tournament is at the beginning of the season, because that was where we had room in the schedule to put it. And so now this, instead of regular season matchups within the Metro West division, is going to be the thing that determines who gets crowned the Orange County Metro West champion. That touched the backboard equipment, which is the same as going out of bounds, so that'll be a defensive team rebound for the Panthers.
Yeah, and once again, Apopka and Wekiva are playing at 6:30 in the championship game. Both teams are now making their way over to the locker rooms.
And if you followed Apopka girls basketball for any length of time, you know that Brittany Hardy has quite the turnaround story over there. When she took over that program, Apopka girls basketball was really not a threat in OCPS Metro West. And it took a season or two to build up that program, but now Apopka is a name that's in the conversation as a potential spoiler.
In the meantime, the steal going back the other way. That is Johnson, once again, the freshman forward, making her presence felt.
Johnson fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two.
So 23-14. Dr. Phillips has led for most of this game. They scored the first 5 points. West Orange tied the score at 5 and then 7. And then another 5 points by Dr. Phillips put them ahead. And they have not given up that lead since then. So, yeah, talking about Apopka, of course, for years and years, about a decade, Miriam Jenkins was the leader of that program, the coach, and she was a terrific coach. Her motto was she would get their teams steadily to play better and better until they were playing their best as the postseason approached. Pulled off a couple of upsets against Anthony Jones and the Dr. Phillips Panthers.
Nice pick. That's Turner that took that one away. Going to try to take it in herself, but can't get the layup to fall.
Coach Jenkins took the 2008 Blue Darters as the launch by Gilliard, no dice. Coach Jenkins took that 2018 to the state Final Four as another tray is launched by Gilliard, this time on the left side. But they were always a team that seemed to be playing their best as the postseason approached. They pulled off a couple of upsets against Coach Jones, Dr. Phillips being in that same district. Oh. And then Coach Jenkins would get that team into the playoffs a number of times. So that program then, of course, after Coach Jenkins left for about 5 years, they had 2 different coaches. It was a very up and down program. They seemed to alternate being in that position of getting into the state playoffs, 17, 18, 19 wins, and then just not really being a presence altogether. And then as Mark mentioned, Coach Hardy, who was the point guard on the 2008 state Final Four team, came back home and took over the program and has since then, for the most part, 5 out of 7 years, been a contender to get into the state playoffs as Predelis with the spin in the dish.
So again, West Orange is certainly the underdog here, but is not ready to go quietly into that good night. They have managed to keep it within shouting distance. It's a 9-point ball game with $1.50 remaining in the second quarter. Pace slowing down a little bit here for the Panthers. They wait for the opportunity on the full court set, and it pays off for them.
Minute 20 before halftime. This is Gilliard. And Jones forcing a stoppage. Dr. Phillips under Coach Jones.
Yes, he was a little animated over there.
So Thompson inbounds the ball. They go back court. Gilliard picks it up. Of course, you are allowed to inbound the ball past the half court. About 250 fans making the trip to Mustang Arena at Southeast Apopka. From the corner, clanks off that heel. That was Calvez. Back out to Predelis from the top of the key and drains the ring.
Predelis for 3.
Those are important points for West Orange.
Yeah, you don't want to go into the locker room with a double-digit deficit.
Yeah, against Dr. Phillips in particular. The way they run that ball up and down. The withdrawal.
21.
Barry making the withdrawal.
And a nice strip there by the Panthers. Good heads-up play, but they're not able to take advantage of it. Sometimes I think the Panthers may outthink the room there as they tried to make something really clever happen in transition and ended up just throwing the ball away.
Yeah, outthinking the room about 3 times in this first half, particularly with the ball handling and dribbling instead of making that pass.
Another good interception there by the Panthers. This time they'll have a little bit better control getting it down the court. 5. That takes us to halftime, and it is a 12-point advantage for the Panthers. Going into the locker room, 31-19 is your score at intermission of this third-place game in the first annual Orange County Metro West Conference Championships. We'll be back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Warriors have the opening possession of the third period. Foul called against number 21, Soraya Johnson, her first personal foul, the team's first. Warrior basket by Jasmine Gibson. Ball into the Warriors. Again, still trying to keep this one from becoming a runaway. They currently trail by 13, looking for their second basket to fall, and that is an anemic attempt. But the putback is there from Jasmine Gibson. Not able to get it to fall, but she does draw the foul. Gibson fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two. The foul is called against the Panthers. Panthers number 11, Jordan Ward, her first, the team's second. Second basket falls as well. Three-point basket for Trinity Turner.
Ups the lead to 37-22. This is the third place game in the 2021 Metro West Tournament.
Three-point basket for Kelia Rainey.
And so DP extending that lead, doing some major damage, but the answer from West Orange.
Three-point answer from the Warriors, number 12, A.J. Gillard.
And now a turnover for Dr. Phillips. And certainly if you're West Orange, that's the best possible news. You want that turnover. Try to cut into this Dr. Phillips lead. Dr. Phillips has led for most of the game. Thompson with the withdrawal.
To the paint for the layup, Sky Thompson.
So the up and down move, the finger roll, and we come back the other way. Dr. Phillips looking to answer now. 5.5 in the third quarter. The pass rolls off the rim. Picked up the loose ball and the finger roll.
Panther basket by Soraya Johnson.
Meanwhile, on the other end, Thompson clinks off that front. No dice. Thompson again, same result. Down low to Scheich. And she does the Windex work, which results in the foul.
Foul called against Panthers number 5, Trinity Turner. That's her second personal foul, the team's third. Checking into the game for Dr. Phillips, Caleb Burden and Asiana Gavan.
So inbound back to West Orange, does not reach the hands.
Gavan, who has spent all of half a second in the game, and Asiana Gavan steals 2 for Dr. Phillips. Well, coach has got to be feeling pretty good about that sub.
Yeah, Coach Jones. Once again, Coach Jones is the first cousin of Tommy Butts, the Wekiva head coach. Slides it off the
Trinity
window.
Turner to LaKayla Burden.
And between Coach Jones and Coach Butts, they have 5 state championships.
Basket by Jezebel Bernard from Elisa Lugo.
And now DP having trouble bringing that ball up. A rare mistake. And
Timeout, Panthers.
So West Orange did have full court defense on, but it wasn't a in-your-face defense. And the rare mistake made by Dr. Phillips, but West Orange will take it, trailing 46-29, 4:15 remaining.
Back to live action. Panthers avoiding disaster there.
So the Panthers bringing the ball up. Backdoor. Too hard. Rattles over the rim, and it will be West Orange possession. So now West Orange continuing to try to bring that ball up against DP's full court defense. They do. Paredes gets the second pass. Pass short. Pulling down the rebound over to Lugo.
Number 10, Elisa Lugo with a long 2-point jumper for the Warriors.
DP coming back the other way. Rebound, Windex. Couple of
Now they're going to say
rebounds.
that she was on, or had a heel on the end line when she rebounded that.
So the turnover. And West Orange still with an opportunity, down by 15. And certainly you can't afford that. You couldn't afford it if it was a closer game. The reverse, no dice. And doing the Windex work is Burden, who draws the foul. So stick around. Well, maybe not stick around on this specific broadcast, but certainly you want to stick around in terms of staying on the Wekiva YouTube channel, because the host school, Wekiva, will be going for to win the championship, the first ever of the Metro West Championship. That game will tip off at 6:30 against Apopka, an inter-city rivalry, 5 miles separating the two schools. Thompson bringing the ball up, facing a 16-point deficit. Give and go, back out to Lugo. Slides off the rim, and back the other way we come. Dr. Phillips. A hand in on Turner as she was driving into that lane.
Foul called against Warriors, number 24, Jasmine Gibson, her fourth, the team's second. We'll pause for an officials conference. There's some debate over which player the foul should have been on. Okay. And a correction to the previous call. The foul is not called against Gibson. Instead is called against A.J. Gillard. That will be her second. Foul called against Panthers number 10, Lakea Burton. That's her first. The team's fourth. At the line shooting 2, Gibson. Panther foul called against number 10, Lakayla Burden. Her second, the team's fifth. Foul called against number 32, Zoe Calves, her second, the team's third. At the line shooting 2, number 5, Trinity Turner. Traveling, Panthers ball. Foul called against number 3, Gigi Polanco. Her first, the team's fourth. At the line shooting 2, Lakayla Burden. Second does not fall, and the Warriors get the rebound.
And Rowland continues to do her strong work under the board, pulling down another rebound. Actually, excuse me, that was Barry, the freshman forward. But Dr. Phillips, as a whole, continuing to dominate those boards. They had an 18-12 advantage on the boards at halftime as another foul. 1:28 remaining before halftime.
Foul called against Panthers number 10, LaKayla Burden, her third, the team's sixth.
A 51-33 lead by Dr. Phillips. Thompson gets the ball over to Gibson. Back to Calvez. The kick out to Polanco. Now back up to Thompson as we approach 1 minute in the third quarter. Thompson driving, lowers that shoulder, and a whistle called. Whistle immediately.
Foul called against Warriors number 23, Ali Schick. That's her second personal foul, the team's fifth.
Didn't you just call a foul on the Warriors?
Strike that. That is the other direction. It's called against number 23, Ronnie Sperry. It's her second personal foul, the team's seventh, and that puts the Warriors into bonus. At the line shooting is number 1, Sky Thompson.
So I'm not the only one. So come back the other way. The front end no good. The pass, the basket attempt, and a whistle on the rebound. Traveling. So West Orange, no harm, no foul, to use an old cliche. Score remains the same, but they are still down by 18, 51-33. And now you're at that point as there's a minute left in the third quarter. You really don't have much room left to go away empty-handed on those possessions, and this is an example. Time is not on your side, even though we're in the third quarter. So West Orange, 2 consecutive possessions. They catch a break, but unable to cut into that lead. DP continues with the full court man-to-man defense. Calvez drives and floats the deuce in. And so that certainly West Orange needed, not only in terms of cutting the lead down, but just to gain some confidence to have a blueprint what to do. In the meantime, Dr. Phillips, this is probably the slowest pace they've operated on offense all game. The spin, back out. The drive to the middle, the lower shoulder, off the heel. And the scramble causes an out of bounds in possession for Thompson. 10 seconds remaining. West Orange, one last opportunity. And Predelis draws the foul, just what West Orange needed. That opportunity to get some points on the board.
Foul called against number 21, Soraya Johnson. That's her second, the team's eighth. At the line shooting, Tanisha Predelis.
So Predelis at the line. And can't make the first. Again, time is not the ally of West Orange. And they have got to score. You're getting to that point of the game where your possessions are getting fewer and fewer. But Gibson!
Putback scored by Jasmine Gibson.
Gibson doing Windex work.
And that takes us to the end of the third period. 51-37 is the score. The Panthers with the advantage going into the final 8 minutes of this third place contest here at the first annual Orange County Public Schools Metro West Girls Basketball Championships.
And couldn't be a better ending for West Orange. Gibson not only cutting that lead down, as Mark said, but giving yourself some momentum heading into the fourth quarter. We'll be back for that fourth quarter from Mustang Arena.
Panthers have the opening possession of the fourth quarter.
And the Panthers also have a commanding 51-37 lead. Opportunity cut into it. Gibson steals the deuce.
Jasmine Gibson on the layup for two.
So 6 consecutive points now by West Orange, and an 18-point lead is down to 12. Talked about needing to make some inroads on that lead quickly. West Orange doing just that. And ball will remain with Dr. Phillips. 30 seconds into the fourth and final quarter. This is the third place game for the 2021 Metro West Conference Championship Tournament. And another turnover, a second consecutive turnover. Calvez playing defensive backs, jumping the route, so to speak. She'll take the pass now on the right wing down to Gibson. On the right, lower on the left. Ball comes loose. Turner making all kinds of havoc. And now the pass and the layup off the board to Ward.
Ward on the layup.
So certainly Dr. Phillips stems off some momentum West Orange have been building. West Orange back to work. Bad shot by Gibson, forced to take it on a bad angle. Turner doing the rebound, the Windex work, and then she sets up her teammate, Ward.
Foul called against number one of the Warriors, that's Sky Thompson. Her third personal foul, the team's fifth. It will send the Panthers, number 11, Jordan Ward, to shoot two. But first, we'll pause for a timeout called by the Warriors.
So Dr. Phillips answers
Full timeout.
What appeared to be West Orange building some momentum with a steal, and they'll go to the line. 53-39. Dr. Phillips with the chance to extend that lead when we return. 6:45 remaining. And welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Dr. Phil Panthers enjoying a 53-39 lead over the West Orange Warriors. This is the third place game of the Metro West Girls Basketball Championship Tournament, 3 of 4 today. Quick programming note. At 6:30, the host school and number one seed Wekiva Mustangs will take on the Apopka Blue Darters, an inter-city Apopka rivalry. The schools only 5 miles apart. But for now, this has been a game that Dr. Phillips has put themselves in a position to win from the beginning, scoring the first 5 points. West Orange tied the score at 5 and then 7, but never led. 5 consecutive points after that 7-7 tie scored by Dr. Phillips. They led by as many as 18 a couple minutes ago. That lead now down to 15. And we have reached the point of the game with 6:42 remaining. West Orange needs to score on their possessions. They do not have the time to waste those possessions anymore. And certainly this will help out West Orange. The foul.
Foul is called against Panthers number 21, Soraya Johnson. That's her third personal foul. The team's ninth at the line, shooting number 42, Tanisha Predelis.
And there's another example, another point left on the table. So Dr. Phillips reached the third place game. They defeated Olympia. That was a 2-7 matchup, Dr. Phillips being the number 2 seed. They then lost to Apopka, as we mentioned, my partner Mark. Somewhat of an upset. Certainly, if you look at the seeds, Apopka the number 3 seed. West Orange, on the other hand, took an easy victory against Evans in the first round. and then they fell to Wekiva in the semifinals. Meanwhile, ball kicked out, kicks off the rim as well, and Gibson doing some Windex work, tracking down that loose ball, and coast to coast, making the withdrawal. Meanwhile, we come down the other end. Dr. Phillips lead down to 12. 6 minutes remaining. West Orange has yet to cut that lead below 12. Air ball off the hands of Govan, and that was the opportunity West Orange was looking for and needed, as 5:47 now remains. About 250 people joining us tonight, and thank you if you're listening for joining us. We appreciate it. Quick programming note, Metro versus Florida on Wednesday. Quick passing, tic-tac-toe passing. Gibson getting the last one pass, and she cannot bring that ball down. Did not catch the rim, catch iron, and now the refs discussing who gets the ball. And ball is going to be with Dr. Phillips. So once again, a 12-point lead by Dr. Phillips, and West Orange failing to take advantage of an opportunity to cut into that lead. Time is not their ally. 5.5 minutes remaining. Gibson comes up, takes some contact from Turner, and the blocking foul on Gibson.
Number 24, Gibson, her fourth personal foul, the team's sixth of this half.
And as you just heard my partner Mark Barchi announce, 4 fouls on Gibson. Coach Rizzo keeps her in. I guess he figures he's got nothing to lose. Slides off the heel. Rowan's shot and rebound, a foul.
Foul is called against Dr. Phillips, number 1, Kayla Rainey, her third personal foul, the team's 10th. That puts the Warriors into double bonus. At the line shooting 2 is number 24, Jasmine Gibson.
So once again, time is not on the side of West Orange. 5:14 left, down by 12. But the good news if you're West Orange is you are in the double bonus now, as you just heard Mark Barchi call out. Gibson at the line. West Orange needs these points. And they're still not going to get that lead under 12. Obviously, you want to get that lead down. You want to score the points. Just the name of the game of basketball is to score points. But it seems like right now they got a mental block. They've been able to get that lead down to 12 about a half dozen times, but they just can't get it down below 12, and now they finally do. 54-43, and another turnover. Some great defensive work by West Orange, cutting off that court, cutting off that right side of the court. Quick inbound and a quick pass to Thompson. Couple of seconds. Passes to Gibson on the drive. No dice on the layup. And so had an opportunity to cut that lead under 10 for the first time in quite some time, but they come away empty-handed. Under 5 minutes, Turner with the dribble goes to the right, looking for a pick. Drives in and goes withdrawal off the board. So what could have been a 9-point deficit, even 8, is now up to 13, and even more points could be extended. No, not able to go in by Roney, but the offensive rebound in the second chance point. So Turner coming up big, and the lead back up to 15 just 30 seconds ago could have been cut down to 9 or even 8. And we've seen that throughout the whole game. The difference now, though, is, and again, time is ticking. 4 minutes remaining. 58-43. Dr. Phillips with the lead. Preto is top of the key, kicks it out to Gibson. Gibson thinks about the tray, gives it up to Calvez, bounces off her foot, picked up by Rainey. attacks, slash, dash, makes the withdrawal.
DP basket by Kalia Rainey.
Up to Gibson. Predelis along the baseline, and she scores the deuce off the
Tanisha
bank.
Predelis answers for the Warriors, and we'll pause for a timeout.
So West Orange stops the bleeding, but not before damage done. The lead
Full
increasing.
timeout called by the Warriors.
The lead being up all the way to 15 with only 3:32 remaining. This is the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network.
And we are aware that it's not overtime. It's just the fourth quarter. We're working on trying to fix that in the score bug.
Mustang Arena, the site. This is the third place game of the 2021 Metro West Girls Basketball Tournament. Dr. Phillips has led for almost the entire game. They now currently enjoy a 60-45 lead, 3:32 remaining. They will have possession of the ball. West Orange in their familiar traveling orange jerseys. They need to make something happen. And a foul right out of the gate. No, actually not a foul, a turnover, and only 2 seconds coming off. So West Orange continues to make a couple of plays. The question is they can't seem to get that third or fourth consecutive play, which would turn a 3 or 4 point run.
And we're going to get a technical foul here.
And action underneath the net. Dr. Phillips players immediately started clapping their hands, and refs talking to West Orange's coach, Brian Diaz. So 3:31 remaining. Both teams are in the bonus. This is Thompson at the line. Both teams called for technicals.
No, it was a personal foul and a technical foul.
Okay, personal foul and a technical.
The original foul was called against the Panthers, and those were double bonus shots that you just saw. Then a technical foul is called against the Warriors, and now the Panthers will be shooting those technical free throws.
So a lot of action and no time coming off the clock. And sometimes it gets a bit hard to follow all the action and the fouls. But as Mark, my partner, just pointed out, personal fouls on both a personal foul and also technical foul on both sides. So bottom line is 61-46 after 4 free throws. The lead remains the same, 15 points. And DP has possession of the ball as we approach 3 minutes in this third place game. Rolling at the top, back to Turner, extended left, guarded by Gibson. A two-man game now, Rowland and Turner going back and forth. And if you're DP with that 15-point lead, you really don't need to force the issue. Turner taking the tray. Calvez, long pass to Gibson. And she draws the foul. Beautiful fundamental execution. Throw that ball up as you're getting contact.
Foul called against number 11, Jordan Ward of the Panthers are second. At the line shooting 2 is Jasmine Gibson.
So once again, West Orange, an opportunity to cut into the DP lead. Gibson converts the first free throw. Second one good too. Now the question is, if you're West Orange, can you make a couple of defensive stops and score on the other end? And the answer, at least for the time being, is no.
And Elise Orlon is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two. The foul is called against number 24. Excuse me, number 42. Tanisha Predelis, her second personal foul. It's the team's ninth, and at the line, shooting two for the Panthers. Once again is Ward.
So this has been the issue all night. West Orange makes a couple plays, cuts into that lead. They've gotten it down to as much as 11, but they just can't seem to get that third or fourth consecutive series of possessions, which favors them. Gibson making the withdrawal.
Jasmine Gibson from Zoe Calvez.
So that cuts the lead down to 13. Dr. Phillips scored 5 consecutive points to break a 7-7 tie. As Rowan launches too light, comes off the front end, but Turner tracks down the loose ball. West Orange, since giving up those 5 consecutive points, Dr. Phillips going up 12-7, the lead has remained between 11 and 18 points as we now are down to 2 minutes. This is the third place game in the Metro West girls basketball tournament. Rims it in and out. Predelis pulling out the Windex, and she's going to do some handling of the ball herself. Out to Chavez. Doesn't catch his backboard, but not iron. Rowland scooping up the loose ball. And a turnover. Now, of course, if you're Dr. Phillips, you don't want that turnover, but you still did take some time off that clock. 1:46 remaining now. And the bottom line is the lead remains at 14. 1:40 remaining. Gilliard trying to make something happen. Kicks it out to Gibson, who sets off the back heel.
Foul called against number 5, Trinity Turner, her third personal foul. At the line, shooting two, Tanisha Predelis.
So Predelis back at the line. West Orange trailing by 14. 92 seconds remaining. Second free throw, nothing but net. And West Orange just keeps staying just close enough to leave some doubt as to the outcome. Dr. Phillips, though, still holding a 12-point lead, 64-52, 1:32 remaining.
Full timeout called by the Warriors.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Dr. Phillips Panthers holding a 64-52 lead. 1:32 remaining. This is the third place game in the Metro West Conference Championship Tournament. Dr. Phillips with the ball, unable to hold on. And a held ball. West Orange forcing the turnover, actually a foul.
Foul is called against Dr. Phillips, number 12. West Orange, number 12. A.J. Gillard, that's her third. The team's 10th. At the line, shooting two for double bonus for the Panthers.
So both teams in the double bonus. Dr. Phillips with that 12-point lead, make that 13. As Roland, the 5'9" freshman guard, is at the line. A 5-point lead was taken by Dr. Phillips about 4 minutes into this game, broke a 12-7 lead, and about 2 minutes later that lead was up into double digits. And since then, the lead has alternated between 11 and 18 points for Dr. Phillips. So the Metro West tournament being held here at Wekiva home facility. That's Mustang Arena.
Foul is called against number 20, Anaya Rolong. That's her second. At the line shooting double bonus, A.J. Gallard.
So one game remains after the conclusion of this one.
Yeah, if you were tuning in for the championship game, we're getting there. Just not there yet.
And that will pit the number 1 seeded in host school Wekiva Mustangs against their cross-city rival, the number 3 seeded Apopka Blue Darters. This game played in front of about 250 fans. It's been an exciting game, certainly a game that has had its moments. Even though Dr. Phillips has led for most of it, it's been a very frenetic pace, very up and down as we see here. And that has led to quite a few fouls.
Foul is called against Warriors, number 12, A.J. Gallard. That's her fourth. At the line shooting to number 10, Makaya Burdon.
So thank you again for joining us on this Monday before Thanksgiving. Quick programming note. On the YouTube, it will not be the Wekiva Mustangs channel, but we will be broadcasting. Mark Barchi, my partner, who also handles the public address announcing duties here at Wekiva Mustang Arena, the Metro versus Florida Challenge, the 11th straight. Actually, this year is now going to forever be known as the Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge. And all you need to do for that to get the internet broadcast is go to that channel, the Metro versus Florida channel. In the meantime, lead remains at 12, and Dr. Phillips will be back at the line once again.
Foul is called against number 24, Jasmine Gibson, her fifth personal foul. She retires from the game with 22 points for the Warriors. At the line shooting for the Panthers, number 5, Trinity Turner.
So 1:05 left. Turner with an opportunity to wrap this victory up, get that lead up to 4 possessions. And she's not able to make either of them. Thompson pulls down that rebound on the left side of the rim. Still some hope, slim hope, but still not completely over for West Orange. Underneath, Scheich blocked, rejected, and that might just do it as we drop under 50 seconds. And now Turner is going to slow down the pace and force West Orange to make a move. She comes down, drops back, and that's exactly what you would expect from your point guard, knowing the situation. 30 seconds, and now West Orange is going to let those final seconds tick out. So Dr. Phillips will place third in the first inaugural Metro West Girls Basketball Championship Tournament. A hard-fought victory. They led from about 4 minutes in, taking a 12-7 lead, scoring 5 in a row. A couple minutes later, they had that lead up to 10, and the lead alternated between 11 and 18 points the rest of the way. Dr. Phillips answering every challenge that West Orange made, never allowing West Orange to score on more than 3 consecutive possessions.
That takes us to the end of the ball game. 66-54, the Warriors keeping it in shouting distance the whole time, but the Panthers prevailing, and they will take third place in our inaugural Orange County Public Schools Metro West Girls Basketball Tournament. Congratulations to both of these teams placing third and fourth in this event. Don't go anywhere except the concession stand, perhaps. We've got more basketball action coming your way right after the warm-up period, we'll have our championship game. The Apopka Blue Darters taking on your host school, the Wekiva Mustangs. And for those of you watching on the live stream, just remember that they are 2 different live streams, so you'll need to exit out of this game and get into the next one. We'll meet you there in about 15 minutes. Until then, good night from Mustang Arena. We'll see you soon.